Three, two, one, and we are back into it, everyone. How is everyone going? It's been a while since I've jumped on the live, but happy to do so today. Obviously, very, very big news yesterday announced by the government. For those of you in New Zealand who may have had sleep in or wasn't up to speed with everything that's going on, or maybe you're overseas, New Zealand has moved back up the alert levels. There were some cases found in Auckland that weren't linked to managed isolation facilities, and they were found by the Ministry of Health, and they didn't know how they got the coronavirus. So that meant that the country has now gone up the alert level. So the Auckland region is in level 3 again, and the rest of the country is in level 2. I thought I'd jump online and give my 2 cents on what's going on, because I know that everyone has different views depending on who you are, where you come from, even your age, what's going on in your local area, what's going on with your work, your studies, what have you. Everything is up in the air, and no one knows quite what's happening. So my 2 cents. So I understand the economic impact this is creating. I understand this is disrupting everyone's lives. But when you look overseas and you see the carnage that's going on in the world, New Zealand is a pretty good place to be right now. We've had it good. We've had the most or the longest length of time without community transmission in the world. I think we definitely reached over 100 days. I think the number was about 102. I could be wrong there, but yeah, we've had it lucky for quite some time. So that's the first thing. We've done amazingly well, and the government always said it's not a matter of if, but it was more of a matter of when it was going to happen. So they've got all the processes in the background, and they know what steps we need to take. The country has done it before. Yes, it sucks that we have to go back up the alert levels. Yes, it's tough. Yes, we have to watch what we're doing, and it's going to be on our minds again. But as far as it goes globally, we're doing pretty damn well. In terms of the economic impact, we can get through that. It's like, I think of it like this: nothing is worse than death, right? So if you've got air in your lungs, you can run about, you can do your thing, you can go about your daily lives, then that's a positive, that's a privilege. As soon as you start messing with this coronavirus and the hospitals are full, and people start getting admitted to hospital, and there's death, that's when it gets pretty heavy. And that's happening overseas. That's going on, right? So this isn't just speculation. This isn't just we're trying to prevent getting to that stage, and it's sure we're going to be paying off. Like, our generation is going to be paying off these investments for probably a generation. I get that, but as long as we can still function, and we can put food in our mouths, and we can put food on the table, then or as long as we're still alive, that's a positive, right? So and I know that the death rate is quite low, but obviously we've got to think about all demographics, right? So there's the older population, and there's the immunocompromised population, and they're probably pretty scared right now. I've been pretty lucky with my health personally. I try to keep in a fit state most of the time, so I'm probably at the other end of the spectrum, but it's really important to understand this from all angles. It's a complex situation. There's no perfect way of going about this. If we don't go into lockdown, then the virus will spread, and if we do go into lockdown, there's a heavier economic impact. So where's the middle ground? I think we should put life on a pedestal, because because it is life. There's dramatic effects if the coronavirus gets out of control. In terms of the economic impact, we can work harder. New Zealand has a way of digging deep during tough times. We've done it before. We've been through lockdown. I understand the wage subsidy is coming to an end shortly, I think on the 1st of September. So there's going to be an impact from that, no doubt about it. I'm not, my head isn't just in the clouds, oh, it will be perfect. No, this is going to be tough. It's going to be rough. But we all have to come together and figure it out day by day as it develops, have some strategic thinking into how we can make the best of a bad situation. So there's ways to get through this. We have gone into lockdown for a reason. This isn't this has. The government understands the impact that this creates. It's not a light decision that they've made to lock down our biggest city in the country and move the rest of the country up the alert levels. This has been well thought out, but hopefully in the long term, it has the least harsh consequences individually and collectively. So that's the first thing. Moving up the alert levels, it sucks, but it's for the greater good. It's for the benefit of everyone else. My emails are chock-a-block this morning. Obviously got a few plates spinning at the moment. I haven't talked for a while about what I've been up to, but I've had global games. So I'll moving back into when we were in lockdown initially earlier in the year, we didn't know whether we were running or not, and we always had the mindset that we wanted to run, but we need to make sure everyone was safe and sound, and it was good to go to do so. So at the moment, we're organising like it's going on, but we're watching developments very, very carefully. We want to give thousands of youth amazing sporting experiences, as we do every year at our large-scale junior sports festival. So we've got the New Zealand Junior Rugby Festival that is scheduled to happen next month. But again, we need to see how everything develops. So our team is watching that very carefully. We're just watching how everything goes. So yeah, everything's still very, very fresh. Obviously, the announcement only came out about 12 hours ago. We'll watch developments there. University. Okay, so I'm studying as well. Studies have been good. I really enjoyed last semester, despite being in lockdown. I think it sort of suited my learning style and my lifestyle. Going online, I enjoyed the content, and going online, it suited some people and it didn't suit others. So the pros with going online is, since everything was done by video, you could watch everything at your own pace and schedule it in as you required. So if you're good at sort of sorting your own schedule, you could watch it when suited you, and you could also watch it on double time if you understood the content, and if you wanted to slow down in those areas that you weren't so sure, you could slow it down and even stop it and go over it again. So in a normal lecture, you just have to watch it as it comes, and if you miss something, you might have to review it in your notes or go back over the lecture, just review it there. But if you're watching it electronically, you can just see it there. The University of Otago has decided to keep all teaching offline for today until further notice. So no one's going on campus. I think the common spaces people are still allowed to use, as long as there is social distancing or the space allows it. So we'll see what comes of that there. Over the last lockdown, I I actually learnt a few new things. I had some time on my hands because I wasn't going out, and I learnt some new skills. So I looked into a new website builder, which was pretty epic. So yeah, it's during these lockdown times, like, you don't have to just do nothing. I've always been of the thought that you should try and keep yourself busy. When you're busy, you can get more stuff done. It doesn't even have to be busy with productive stuff as such. You can catch up with family online. You can read some books. It just depends on what you want to do. Just because you can't go out and we're in lockdown doesn't mean you do absolutely nothing. I find that I get most down when I haven't got stuff to do. I've always got an active mind. There's things on my mind. I like to have a varied life. So that's how I get through. I always have, I suppose, a few new skills that I'm trying to learn. I took a Gallup strength test probably a few years ago now. And one of the strengths that came out of it for me was learner. So it doesn't mean I'm the most high-paced learner, but it means that I'm really interested in learning new things. So whether that's reading books, learning about the world, whether it's learning new skills, I always want to do new things. I want to grab opportunities. I want to launch myself into new environments. I just have that constant stimulation, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. I like to always push the barriers so that I can learn what my capacity is and hopefully grow that capacity over time. So learning new skills, I watched a bunch of podcasts over the last lockdown. Like I ran my own podcast channel. That's where the Daily Jase Live channel actually came from. It came from having time on my hands, and I started a new project. I reached out to a few business contacts to see if they wanted to jump on the show, and I was lucky enough to get people that were way more brainy than myself to jump online and ask them a bunch of questions. So if you tuned into that, I really appreciate it. It was a ton of fun, and hopefully gave you guys a bunch of value as well. And yeah, so you can create opportunities no matter what's going on. You can do that. And then after lockdown, I jumped into a few things. I learned something totally new. It's always been on my bucket list, but I actually went snowboarding. So for the first time in my life, I hit the slopes. I've done skiing in the past, probably like 10 years ago. I wouldn't call myself a skier as such, but I jumped on the slopes, once again, touched snow. It was amazing, and tried my hand at snowboarding. And I've never done stuff like surfboard, or I've tried surfboarding, was rubbish at that, just on a holiday. I've never tried skateboarding really. Tried wakeboarding once and did that on holiday, but yeah, snowboarding I gave an actual go probably a couple of weeks ago now, and it was epic. It's safe to say I have a new favorite hobby. So I'll be hitting the slopes again, if not this year, then probably next year, because it's pretty damn cool. Me and my brother, we went up and we tried snowboarding for the first time. And the story goes, we have totally different learning styles. He likes to hit slopes and learn in a very structural manner. Let's say he took up a lesson. He started on the easy slopes. He wanted to learn all the skills and just do it very methodically. Me, I just wanted to go hard, jump on the hardest slope I could, crash a few times, hopefully learn a few skills as I crashed, and yeah, we it's been a while since we learned something fresh at the same time together, and it was pretty epic going up with him and going through that process. So we each have our different learning styles. It's not neither as good or bad if we both suit different styles, but yeah, it was pretty hilarious going up with him. Moving sideways slightly to what's been happening in the news. Holy moly, the world has, I don't even know what's going on. It's day to day, there seems like there's new news coming out globally. It's a pretty, I want to say, it is interesting, but I think everyone's on their toes at the moment. Things are happening internationally that we haven't seen in a very long time, definitely not in my lifetime, and I'm not sure what the long-term impacts of it will be. Everyone knows that we're it's unprecedented. There's things that are unfolding that we won't expect. Obviously, there's America is in an interesting situation at the moment. The whole Black Lives Matter movement came to a forefront a month or two back, and that went global. We also have the explosion in Beirut. Holy moly, that was massive. My heart goes out to all those families, all those people, all those businesses, all those communities who were impacted in that blast. It went around social media like a wildfire. Couldn't believe what was happening. It's pretty crazy to think that that something like that could happen in the world. We're lucky, very lucky here in New Zealand. It's very safe here, but obviously the rest of the world is not in that position. There's a bunch going on. I'm trying to watch the news carefully. It's hard to keep up sometimes because there's just so much going on. But I hope that nations can come together and understand that this is a challenging time for all, and collectively we should try and strategically come up with the best solutions. I know there's no hard and fast rule with politics or business or international relations, but we all need some big picture thinking here and actually understand that the world is in a very hard period right now, and we need our leaders to step up and show the leadership that the collective needs right now. So it will be interesting to follow that. Elections. So this is a big year for New Zealand and a few other countries around the world, but we've got the elections coming up, and I think we're at a pretty pivotal point in history. As I highlighted earlier, we've got just so much going on, and this election, it will be, I guess, who can get the support and spread the message the clearest for who can rebuild the country the best. So I think Judith Collins just raised that we should try and postpone the election. Definitely in my time that I've been voting, there hasn't been a postponed election, so it's interesting to see how that will unfold and what the process is, because politics isn't my arena that I know a lot about, but it certainly impacts all of our lives. So it's very interesting to watch. Obviously, the political arena at the moment, it's been hitting the news with politicians left, right and centre have been told to step down, or they've made their mistakes and they've sort of the writing's on the wall, so they've resigned. But we need strong leadership. We definitely need people who know how they're going to fix the solution. They need to have a clear plan and articulate it in a way that New Zealanders can understand and get behind. So, I don't think it would be the worst thing to postpone the election, given what's happening. But it's definitely an important piece of the puzzle, because it will determine what's going to happen to our country in the next few years. So that's a general wrap up. Help each other out. If you haven't called your families, give them a ring. They'll really appreciate it. Before I jumped on this live. I run around all my family, just check in 5 minutes. Everyone appreciates it, just to see what everyone's headspace is at, and make sure that they are doing okay. And I'm very lucky that my family, they seem to be doing all right. But yeah, just check in with friends, family. It's really important. It goes a long way. Yeah, I better get back to my emails. They've blown up. I've got a meeting coming up after the government announcement just before midday. So I've got to head off, giddy up, and make some moves. But hopefully I'll jump back on the lives more consistently. I know I've been a bit quiet. I've been working on a couple of projects in the background. Hopefully I'll announce them before the end of the year, given that I haven't got too many curveballs, or the nation hasn't gone into lockdown, and we can actually get on with things. But stay safe, make sure everyone's all right, and I'll catch you all soon. Awesome. Peace.